Welcome to Shootin' It Straight. I'm your host, Stan the Annuity Man, America's annuity agent, licensed in all 50 states and Puerto Rico, the founder of CGO, Contractual Guarantees Only, which means that you own an annuity for what it will do, not what it might do. It's controversial for some reason, but it's true. You're buying a contract. The contract's issued by the life insurance company that issues annuities. You're buying a contractual guarantee, so why not focus solely on that? And that's what we do. Today's topic is stacking income for Chapter 2. Chapter 2 is what I call retirement. And to me, it's just Chapter 2 of your life, like what you're going to do after you've worked. Hopefully, you're going to be active and you're going to travel. I always tell people there's 3 phases of retirement: go-go, slow-go, and no-go. You should take advantage of the go-go because you're feeling good, because eventually all of us at the end, if we live long enough, will be crapping in our diapers and drooling on ourselves. I know that's harsh, but I'm trying to get your attention. So what is it all about in Chapter 2? It's about income. It's about lifestyle. Lifestyle equals income. You got to have income to have lifestyle. You already own the best inflation annuity on the planet. It is called Social Security. And the inflation part is politicians raising it to get your vote. There's no actuarial, it's political. And by the way, I'm contractual. I should be running for the contractual, under the Contractual Guarantees Only party for president. I'd win because the debates would be beautiful. But you got to stack income. I call it the income floor. Okay, what is your income floor? And income floor means what's coming into your bank account every single month. Annuity income, Social Security, bond, dividend stocks, your cotton candy vendorship at the county fair, woodworking, homes that you rent. What's that income floor? That income floor needs to be significant and substantial and cover the basics and addition to that, a little bit additional, so you can go live your life. It's got to be a non-correlated asset. What's non-correlated means, Stan the Annuity Man, it means not having nothing to do with the stock market. Non-correlated. That's what your income floor should be. So if you want to still invest and you think you're Gordon Gekko and you're a trader or whatever, you have to have the income floor in place. And if you're married, one of you could care less about the markets, could care less about anything. They just want to know that there's enough income so they can go see the kids and the grandkids and go to France and go to Provence and buy furniture. Kind of gave something away there with my wife. That's what she likes to do. But the point is, you got to start stacking income. So let's start stacking it. Social Security, pension if you're so fortunate. If you work for the government or labor union or military or what, there. Okay, pension. Dividend stocks. Coming in, some grandpappy bought Exxon a long time ago. It's dividend, dividend, and dividend. Something that's kicking off, CDs, treasuries, munis, what's coming in, and then annuities. Annuities, I know you hate them. I know you do. Even though you already own one. I hate annuities. Great. Stop talking. Annuities are the only category in the financial world that provide a lifetime income stream that you can never outlive for as long as you're breathing. There's no ROI until you die. I've been thinking recently about how the annuity industry has ruined and not taken advantage of that value proposition that only annuities can provide. How in the world can the marketing be so poor that most people hate annuities in their mind because they're uneducated about them? How can that happen when you have a monopoly on lifetime income? Annuities are the only product that will pay you as long as you're breathing. Don't come at me with a 30-year bond response because I'll smack you down factually. What if you live 31 years, player? What if AI solves life expectancy and now everybody lives to 110? That's the reason we do A+ or better carriers for lifetime income. We don't play around with the small people. We do A+ or better for lifetime income because they got to be around to pay. And with medical breakthroughs shortening, life expectancy will lengthen, which means you have to have quality carriers. So annuities are part of that stacking of income in Chapter 2. So one of the things that I get all the time, one of the questions, Stan, That's great, but what about inflation? Well, you already have the best inflation annuity on the planet, that's Social Security, but if hyperinflation hits or whatever, there's not a product on the planet that adjusts for that. You'll have Johnny Appleseed agents tell you they have it. They don't. They're just lying. They don't know what they're doing. The only way to solve for inflation is stacking income, and this is how you stack for inflation, is if you have $5,000 a month that's coming in, I'm just using that as an example, okay? And you say, you know what? Me and the wife need $6,000. Things have gone up. We want to travel a little bit more. Then we'll do a reverse engineer quote, solving for the $1,000 a month guaranteed contractually for both lives, okay? Using the least amount of money, quoting all carriers. You can put a cost of living adjustment increase on these products, but the annuity companies don't give that away. Just visually, here's the annuity without the increase. Here's the annuity with the increase. That's where they start. They don't give that away. But if that's what you want, that's fine. I had a gentleman the other day. He bought a QLAC, qualified longevity annuity contract, and he said, I want a 3% COLA on that, so I wanted to increase. I explained the math, in a very nice way. He said, I get it, I understand, but I still like seeing it increase. Okay, great. We did it. Quoted all carriers. But you've got to start thinking now about stacking income in Chapter 2. If you're already in Chapter 2, you've got to start thinking about the income floor that you already have, and do you need more, and can we fill in that gap? With annuities for lifetime income, we can structure it so that 100% of any unused money goes to the family, and the evil annuity company doesn't keep a penny. Please do not say out loud, when you die, annuity company keeps some money. Please stop. I'm begging you. It's not true. We don't do that unless you tell us to do that. But 99% of the people put in what I call a backstop, so that if you got hit by a bus day 2, money goes to the family. But it's still going to pay for as long as you're breathing. You got to start thinking about stacking income in Chapter 2. How are you stacking income? By the way, I'll give you an example of what's not stacking income, is if your financial advisor that manages your non-annuity assets, stocks, etc., if they say to you, well, let's forget Stan and his crazy baseball caps and his logoed gear. Forget him. Let's just manage the money, and then I'll just peel off 4%, and you can just have the income that way. That person's either young and they've never seen a down market, or they're stupid, because that 4% rule has been disproven by so many academians, and me, that it doesn't work. My comment to that, well, I know we're in a bull market at the time of this taping, and people are, well, it's just going to keep going up, son. It's AI thing. Okay, whatever. What if we're down 20% one year and you still got to take the 4% out? Boy, you got to have a good year next year, right? It's dumb. And for any advisor out there that's managing your assets to say that and to actually believe that it will work, they're crazy. I mean, I told someone the other day, the advisors that are in the business now, most of them, I've got cowboy boots older than them. They haven't seen anything. They think markets just go up. And you know what? They might go up. But they might not. You need a non-correlated, non-market attached income floor where you're stacking income. And you keep stacking income as you get older. And you use it, and you have fun with it. I always say, fly first class or your kids will. Think about it. It's true. But stacking income, when you get to Chapter 2, or if you're approaching Chapter 2, that should be your primary focus. You need to sit down with your significant other and say, what's the budget? And I'm not just saying budget to pay the bills, budget to pay the bills, and budget to travel, and budget to eat out, and budget to get a nice car, and budget to buy nice shoes, and budget to live life, and budget because we have a spending problem. Talk to the person today, and I'm like, you're in good shape, you just have a spending problem. They're like, what? I'm like, stop living like you're poor. My wife calls it the scars of scarcity. We've all been there, to where there was a time in our life as adults that we didn't have any money, that we were scraping, and it was scary. We've all been there. And that scar, regardless of how much money you get in the future, it's still there. We have to overcome that scar and start spending the money. Our kids are going to be fine. Our grandkids are going to be fine. It's not about them. It's about you in Chapter 2. So just think about it. Stacking income. Go to my site at theannuityman.com. send me a personal email, stan@theannuityman.com. You can schedule a call with me. We'll talk about how to stack income. I'll take a look at what you've already stacked and tell you if you need any more, and if you do, how to go about doing it with the least amount of money. Free consultation. Why wouldn't you do that? I don't know. You should. So stacking, you need to start stacking income for Chapter 2, and if you're already there in Chapter 2, you need to revisit it, all right? That's Shooting It Straight with Stan. I'm Stan the Annuity Man. See you next time.